Hello and welcome back to the Blobber Plays Laysara campaign. It's been a while, Mysterious says in chat. It's released into full release, and there is now a campaign, which we are finally getting to do. Before it was just puzzle maps and like sandboxy maps. Okay, Splintered Soul, let's go. Also, we need to make sure you're getting the sound. There we go. She has a point. Aren't we supposed to be building temples or something? There'll be a problem with that. There's no rock crystal here. We can't raise a summit temple without it. Relax. We'll make a colony on another mountain and bring it here. That's easier said than done. We need to prepare for such a thing. Well then, let's prepare. We'll start by developing our city using copper deposits. Wait, what? We already did this map. It's revisit the same map. We almost are done with the first objective. We could do some more copper, sure. Okay, and then the easiest way would be make an Amazon distribution center for these guys. Done. Maybe they're going for a it's up to you what we bring with us to the next place. Nice job! I wish we had a way to boost the yak population. I wish we had a way to boost the yak population to be more efficient. Come now, look how happy the yaks are in the pastures. Moo! What I care about is they take up so much space. Workers and money to maintain. Can we do something to mitigate it? Let's build another academia and try. Okay, first thing I need to do is stop our both yak shortage and our artisan shortage, because it's crippling us. It is an adorable yak. Yeah, they do a good job of cutifying up the moo-moos. We need some more people. There we go. Artisan shortage dealt with, but yak shortage not dealt with. So, temporarily make another giant yak pasture. Alright, now we're in surplus again. We aren't paying the lack of workers penalty. We are told we need to make a next level, like either another academy or level it up into the second kind of thing. But we don't have the second kind of thing yet, so let's just build another academy. Oh, we can't bridge over that? That's slightly surprising. How do we get over there, then? We can't do that. Okay, there we go. And upstairs. And then how do we get to you? It says we can build a shaft, but it doesn't let us build it to anywhere. That's slightly odd. Well, I guess we bridge across. Bridge. Bridge. Done. Now we can create a second monk zone. And by monk zone, I mean people have to walk a stupidly long way to their academy, and nothing else. So at the moment we don't actually need more monks. Monk, monk, I need a monk. Okay, and we unlock Tech 2. Get to Tech Level 2. Achievement, well, mini goal done. Eureka! We've got a promising concept. Just provide yaks with high quality food and they'll breed despite not having tons of space. Not sure if I like it. Could set a precedent for breeding animals in poor conditions. We don't have time for pondering what possibly could be. We need to supervise and survive the here and now. And for that, we'll use whatever advantages we can. So now we gain access to the hyperspace compact yak thingamajig. You have to grow hay. The hay you feed to the compact yak breeder. So it should be near these, because these produce the hay. And to feed them, we need a hay dryer each. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, what's the current ratio? The current ratio is less than 1 to 1. We have more than enough, so we'll just take the lazy way of being slightly inefficient. Massive yak surplus. We can turn all of these off. Okay, no we can't. I'm wrong. Fine then, we will be slightly more efficient. I'm 1 yak breeder short. Let's do it the efficient way. So, instead you send the hay to here. Oh, no, I am okay. I'm just mismathing. Well, then you can turn off. You to the first one. You to the second one. There we go. You to that one. You to that one, and now that one is full. These don't quite reach. We can fix that by extending that road there. Now they touch via this one, which is like 6 tiles closer. This does, however, mean that you should do the top one. You should do the top one. You should do that top one. And you should do that top one. Now these ones do the bottom ones. And ta-da! Now we're good. And we can turn off the rest of these. Conserve our lowlander workers. Ah, but for the objective they want 1 more. Fair enough. I don't actually have enough hay production. Hay is more efficiently produced on the highlands. So we're actually going to move this last one up here. Alright, and then we need 1 wheat. Yeah, look at that. 4 hay per farm instead of 2. So now 1 farm can feed a whole yak thing. Done. That's so many yaks! Indeed. What will we do with them? That's easy. We'll cut their fur and start producing wool. We've already been using built yak shacks providing us milk. So, the places that were making cheese, which were you, this now also produces wool that is a useful use to us. These aren't trains. We finished train game. The campaign ended a bit too early, I think. We didn't get to check out the GG1. We didn't get to check out the big boy. The end of that campaign felt rushed. But maybe others feel differently. Provide 400 citizens with textiles. Well, as far as I'm concerned, that should be this space. So let's... What was the button? Control? Yeah, let's just dump all these up here for the moment. And then this will become our... cheese for these guys. Well, we've got a little bit of production, but not very much. And I'm gonna need more artisans for yeeting that around. I should just add in some more artisans first. We need 1 more honey. Done. Now I have the artisans that we don't mind moving this around a bit. So... you... which means we need to move the road. And then we need a yeeting station. These can no longer reach where they're trying to deliver the cheese. And because all of these people aren't getting cheese, they demand tax concessions. So... destroy this side of the road. Rebuild it. Shove down the yeeting station. There, we've restored the cheese. And look at that perfect 12, 12, 12, 12. Ah. Now we want to deal with the wool. Also, are you guys getting cheese? You would like cheese. So we can expand this a little bit more. 1, 2... 1, 2... Stand cheese to here. Which actually means we don't need that extra honey anymore. Food diversity means they don't consume as much of any single food. And now we want to set up wool. One, 2, 1, 2. You need a yeeting station. And then, is that enough to supply the peasants? Just. Great, our lovely yaks are providing us not only with food, but also with warmth. Hey, what's that sound? It sounds ominous. Nothing to worry about too much. There was some extensive snowfall. The avalanches are becoming more powerful. What? We're all gonna die! Relax. We can strengthen our avalanche protection by having 2 rows of foresters. Or we could add a line of avalanche barriers. They block weak avalanches, so one's already weakened from passing through trees. Build an avalanche protector thingamajig. Well, the place that was in danger was here. So it wants us to shove down a row of avalanche protecty things there. We'll need to back these up slightly. That one cannot move. So now we learn about avalanche walls. We actually need you to go back one more as well. There. So now we have level 2 protection for most of the city. Done. I like them. They're not taking up a lot of space. Maybe we can replace the trees with barriers. It doesn't work that way. Trees, because of their strong roots, withstand a direct hit from the avalanche. Barriers only help for weak ones. It only makes sense to build 1 row of them behind the trees. Alright, just a thought. Let's get back to building our city. Get enough houses to level 3. These are level 3. Means we need a bit more honey and a bit more egg, you say. So turn back on this egg and a bit more honey. Yeah, the honey production on the lowlands is very inefficient. But whatever, we've got the spare space. Done. We could shove some more houses here. But then we need slightly more wool. We could move some wool production up to there. The most efficient point to make wool... The trees are growing into the rocks? I mean, this is open ground. The trees aren't like... We're not embedding the trees on the cliff face. We're putting the trees on the big open groundy bits. How much this is rock... Guess is up to your interpretation. We, however, apparently need more of this now. Which is awkward, because we are now producing, I think, as much as it makes. No, we have one of them turned off. So if we turn you on, we go back to having a slight surplus. Sure, there's rock, but there's also a layer of stuff above the rock. You know, trees do grow on mountainsides. It does get a sediment layer on it. Not all mountains are sheer rock face. Skiers have to make sure not to ski into trees. What are we going to do? I'm short 12 of you. We should increase our number of you. But what we should really do is just level these up as our solution. Hey, Elstretzo. G'day, g'day. A gong would do that. So, let's gong these guys up. I kind of like there. That's half of them. But And if I put one here, maybe? I mean, that's a lot of the population. Did I leave space for a road there? I did. So technically we could put that on this edge. Yeah, that's almost everyone. I don't think it's going to get too much better than that. So now these guys also need... one more good, which means more wool. We have 0 current wool surplus. These guys, in fact, are slightly grumpy about not enough wool. In theory, then, I should build more wool here, but I don't want to be yeeting it all the way across the mountain. How much spare cheese do we currently have? Not that much spare cheese. Would you guys like cheese? Yes. Could also build one here. No, I want to build it here. So... 1... 2... We will need a yeeting station. Really? I don't remember you using monks. What's suddenly using more monks? That I don't know. I don't know what's suddenly using more monks. Well, we could just give you an extra house in here. Monk shortage dealt with. And the artisan shortage will be dealt with once they get the... Like, we're currently doing this to give them... one more good. The one more good will give them level 3, and the level 3 will make more of them. So, we want 2 weavers. Then you... Can I move you up 1 square? Beautiful. So you now feed that weaver, you feed that weaver. Both weavers go into that eating station, and that eating station supplies this Amazon distribution center. Boom. You mentioned establishing a colony. How will we do that? We prepare food to send there, and then just go and do it. And how do you imagine to send resources between different mountains? Ooh, another new person! Big Lady. Hello, Big Lady. Who are you? I'm a businesswoman. I specialize in trading. I was just passing by with my caravan, and I heard some voices. I figured I'd stop and say hi. This is perfect! Could you help us transport resources between mountains? I can. Build a trading post and we can talk more. Okay, now we're running out of goods for them. So that suggests that we actually have a slight cheese shortage now. Yeah. So we could have one more of these. I'd need to move all these over 1, which is... It's doable. Let's not complain. It's pretty easy. There, cheese shortage dealt with. You also have a bread shortage. The bread shortage isn't going to be dealt with. But honey can. We just turn that back on and your honey is dealt with. We could also give you some fish. We now know how to do fishing. Would you eat fish? They would. Food diversity will reduce how much they consume of any given kind of food. That doesn't quite reach here. So we'll give the littlest bit of slightly fancy road. The littlest bit of extra fancy road. There we go. These into here, that into there. Boom. And by food diversity, we've reduced how much we need of all these things, which actually means I can probably turn back off one of the honeys. That is true. And now we wanted a trade post. We need to transport food to another mountain and get rock crystal back. Here's how we can do it. I'll buy food from there and sell it in the other settlement. And the other way around with rock crystals. Got a deal? Let me guess. You're going to sell it with a markup? Of course! I have to feed my yaks somehow. Moo! It's not like we have any other option. I say we agree. Perfect! We'll send whatever food you want to sell to the trading post, and I'll make sure it's available elsewhere. Sell 18 cheese to the trading post. Okay, so we want to move this over to where we were producing our cheese. And make even more of it. Oops. I meant to copy, not. That's fine. 2 more of these. Powering 2 more cheeses. The cheeses into the yeeter. And then the yeeter to the trading post. Splendid! I'll make sure the cheese is delivered to the other trading posts. Where is this town you want me to sell it to? It doesn't actually, technically speaking, exist yet. I'm sorry, what? Take it easy, we're just getting started on establishing it. There'll be a sparkling new town there in no time, you'll see. I hope so. I don't intend to throw good money after bad. Let's go and establish this new colony. Level 5. Quartzful. Not very spacious, as only one side of the mountain is suitable for habitation, but it is full of rock crystal deposits. High zones limited. Does have copper, does have rock crystal. We've made it. This is a great spot for a colony. So much rock crystal. It's perfect. This mountain is too small for snowcaps to form. There'll be no avalanches. Let's start mining. No, we need to establish a proper settlement first. Get 50 lowlanders. Let's have a look. What do we actually got? We've got a reasonable big lowland, little lowland, a second little lowland that connects to 2 fairly small medium lands, then a fairly large highland. And is there anything around the other side? Yes, there's a huge medium land and a medium, somewhere between medium and small, another lowland. And then here there's a toe-shaped thing, dog's foot, and then we're at the one we were already at. So that zone is bigger, this zone is a little less. But it does have the largest, well, the second largest single big free space. No, I think we do the lowlanders in here. So... food... 1, 2, 3, 4. This needs to be connected to our road network. This is true. Done. We won't be building a huge city here, but we can surely use some artisans. I agree. I think that before we start importing cheese, we should provide the artisans with honey. It's a good idea, it's easy to make, and there are a few regions with good conditions for doing so. Honey is good in the medium zone. It's almost, it's 2/3 more efficient. So we should do either honey here or here, but both of those are sort of rock zones. Maybe down the bottom of here and then leave the top for that. And that way it's not traveling so far. Okay. But we need a yeeting station. Which also means we kind of need Tech 1. Well, I guess we could use a chain of crappier. No, this can't go up and down the hill. So we do need Tech 1. So you should all wait. Tech 1 means we want to set up big monk zone, which is most sensible on there. Methinks so. Yeah, in fact it's the only option. So... getting told off for having a staircase with no yaks. So we'll create a basic yak station. Yak pasture. Exist right by the doorway for now. We should also create a tax office for here. Although that says make some artisans. I guess we could have some diversified housing to begin with. Just enough to run a tax office. Keep our income up. Now, do we need to do anything else here? And are we going to get access to... Yes. It looks like we're going to get access to the next level of tech thing here, Monastery, which instead of 1 tech level provides 3 tech levels. So it uses a lot less monk workforce, but you need to be making cedar. We don't need anything else to really happen here. Eventually we might want to use a little bit of it for making efficient yaks. If we're going to use some for efficient yaks, we should probably do that at the top corner and do the rest at the bottom corner. Alright. Pave down a whole bunch of monks. Pave down enough artisans in our mixed zone to be able to tax the monks. Thing is, I kind of want the temple thing there. Well, the temple would also go kind of nicely there. Yeah, you know what? Boom. Boom. It only doesn't reach one. Okay, let some time pass and some money accrue. Actually, we want to turn this off, because that's going to make people have higher demand. We want a tax office here. There. Whew. Time speed up. Let money accumulate. Now, what do people want this map? You want honey and bread. You want honey and cheese. You only slightly want cheese. You want slightly eggs. You don't want eggs at all. You want baths and decorations. You want kettles. And what do the monks want? The monks want big cheese, little bread, little egg, little honey. Big scholarship, big yak. They're really happy with walls this level. And they're really happy with mandala. So cheese looks the real go. Cheese is best made on the lowlands. But then we'd have to yeet it all the way upstairs. No, it's kind of feeling to me like I should split off the artisans already and make a dedicated artisan zone. Which I kind of wanted to do here. So... that's gonna have to produce food for this. The bread component. And now... this bit is a bit tedious. But at least this isn't a really big mountain where we need more than 2 moves. When you need 3 or 4 of these moves, it gets really, really quite tedious. Done. Right. Then a whole bunch more. So that we can run some yeeting stations. Next step. These guys are going to want at least some basics. In theory, they want baths. Which... this would be baths. No, giving you baths is not a realistic goal on this map. You're just going to have to be here and be happy without baths. That kind of means that you will want decorations. Decorations, bread, and honey would be enough to keep you happy. The honey we should do up here. Maybe it fits somewhere else a bit nicer? Yeah, there looks kind of nice. Good, they have honey. They need a tax office here. Then we wanted cheese and bread. No, we wanted bread and decoration. What do you feel about praying places? You also quite like praying places. That would obviate the need to do bread early. That works. It's a little wasteful on these 2 tiles of road, but... boom. I think it's about time we start using the cheese we prepared. We'll see about that. I have a few problems. Do you remember what the tradeswoman said? She wants to sell it to us. We need money to buy it. I have a plan. How will having upgrading our artisans' homes help us with money? Isn't it obvious? More artisans means more money from donations. Artisans are a little more generous with their donations than other citizens, maybe. But it doesn't mean they shouldn't contribute too. Sure, if we want to maximize revenue, it's best to increase the population of artisans and not others. This is exploitation! Super tax people, already done. Now we can buy the cheese. You remember what I said? There are more than just one problem. Oh, we need to research a trading post. I'll take care of that. Can you just tell them how to do it? No, we need to grow enlightenment of our people wherever we roam. So why are these two slightly less happy because the topiaries don't reach there. Then, until we need an Amazon distribution center, I will allow those. Okay. They would also like bread, baths. They're actually going to be very demanding of stuff. This is probably going to have to be basically only farming to provide them with both beer and bread. Now that we have the excess artisans, we can make the eating station here. Except that we don't have Tech 1. So it's time to set up allowing that to be on. How exactly isn't that knowledge we possess? Because we need to develop our local enlightenment. They've addressed this point many times, Sergeant Cookie. Alright, we're finally ready to build that trading post. Did someone say trading? Oh, it's great you're here. Do you have the cheese? It's my cheese. I paid for it, but I'm happy to part with it for a proper price, of course. Okay, buy 10 cheese from trading posts. Trading post go. Buy cheese. Send to there. It's an excess of cheese, but perfect. I'll make sure the caravans with the cheese come here regularly. That's great. Now we can give it to people. After all this hassle, I'm not sure that if we wouldn't have been easier just to produce the cheese here, or at least cheaper. Yeah, we're in fact losing money, although part of that is the yak lack. So let's fix our yak deficit first. That goes a long way. We need a couple more civilians, but these guys are now... You have Tech 1, but you aren't giving us food! Wah! Wah! The monks are still happy because they're up high and they have a school, even if they're not being fed. But these guys don't accept not being fed as a thing, given that we now have this tech. People get more demanding the higher tech gets. But now we have honey. But you guys don't eat honey. The honey is useless. Would these guys eat honey? These guys would eat honey. But it's only one, so... what they'd prefer... Well, they could do honey and eggs. We could do honey and eggs, and you need eggs, right? You need more than eggs, but eggs is actually a good part. Eggs and then some bread, and then they're happy. So we do eggs here as well. Eggs is equally efficient everywhere, which means you tend to want to put it up high, because up high is usually... Like, you tend to like the lowlands for producing real food, and the medium for producing cheese and the textile-y type stuff. But I don't know that we want to do that there yet, because we might want the efficient yak space for there. So we're going to do it in the middle for now. A second eating station. You don't have enough lowlanders. Okay. Now they at least have some food. You can also have eggs. How much excess egg do we have? Only 2. So we really need more of these. Okay. We kind of need a second import station. But that's going to use 5 more yaks. No, no. For the moment, we'll put you over here, even though you're not going to live here permanently. And then 1 more is enough to run another import station. Do you want cheese as well? You don't want cheese at all. Oh no, they super want cheese. So cheese from here that could get distributed to both? Yes, that seems reasonable. That technically isn't enough cheese. Oh, there's like a limit. Okay, so how much do we need here? We need 7, so we go down by 3. And then on this side we can go up by 3. Now we have balance. Cheese balance. Now we actually have tiny cheese deficit. Now we're finally ready to do what we've come here for. We can start mining rock crystals and returning them for the city. Not so fast. While we're here, it would be a loss if we didn't take this opportunity to learn about the nature of the universe. What are you talking about? I'm talking about raising a monastery. Inside, monks use painted cedar to consolidate our knowledge and gain new insights. With rock crystal deposits, we can produce dye and then painted cedar. It's exactly what we need in a monastery. We'll learn so much! Yeah, build a monastery, but first we should really up our tax base a bit more. So, getting these to level 2 would help. Which to me says that we should diversify your food giving, so that you don't eat as much cheese anymore. You would also eat bread, butter, tea, and fish. We could maybe make fish there and bring it across. Yeah, technically this is bridgeable. But we don't have the tech for fishing yet. So bread it is. I guess that means you're moving. You're temporarily going to be up here. Yeah, stop trying to get me to do the next step when I need to buff out our nation. Bread. New problem, we don't have enough lowlanders. To run the bread. Sure. $6 and $6, and how much are we producing? I've got 4 excess of you, and actually a slight deficit of total cheese. What other foods would you eat? You would eat bread. Yeah, I think this space might have to become bread space. Temporarily move our yaks to here. Okay. Bread for you. They would like bread, but only a little bit. In fact, that's a lot more bread than you really need. And now they need 1 enlightenment, so gong. But we need to wait a little bit of time for that. Sure. Yak deficit dealt with. Lowlander deficit dealt with. Tashi Delek? Is that Tibetan hello? Hello, Vama. Technically, you'd be better off there because you'd pay tax. You would be better off there because you'd pay tax. You have a lot of building upkeep. That's Tech 2, so we're a ways away. If we give them the gong, they become a lot happier. It's Tibetan hello, I was right. Hello, Baba. Yeah, they did a very nice job of tutorializing the start. Sad that you don't reach that house. That goes a long way. But now we're having a cheese deficit up here that's making these guys demand subsidies. So... boxing them in with walls would be a solution. Giving them a mandala would be a solution. Or giving them cheese would be a solution. We could also make them eat less cheese by giving them bread. We could also blow up some of the ones that aren't intact, like, are slightly out of the correct level. That way they're not eating the cheese. Yeah, I think you're going to need to make your own cheese, friends. In fact, could we get away with not giving you the cheese? Then turning this off. But you don't have cheese anymore. What if we blow up the building? Then it doesn't complain about no cheese. Then we can up how much cheese is imported over this side. Now there is a nice little cheese surplus. Problem solved. Let time pass and money reaccrue. One good would get these guys up to the next level. Or no, one education. It has to be education type. So gong. A gong there? No, it probably wants to be like a gong here and there. Let's see if we build a road there. Can one gong somewhere here get all of that? Not quite. There looks about the nicest. It misses 2 houses, but it only misses 2. Which we can reposition near those gong. The tax office is getting very nearly everything except this house. So that house should move there. Done. Lowlander workforce optimized. Money accrued while we were doing that. Next they would want tons of stuff. No. Honey would help you, so we can turn on the honey now. Don't send it down there. They don't appreciate honey. The monks do. And that also helps fix their cheesiness. And means we now have a little bit of a cheese surplus. Kind of surprised we're using 16 of it. I guess there are a lot of lowlanders. But not you two. Fine. Done. Okay. Next. Monastery steps. So, the monastery needs us to be making painted cedar. Painted cedar is a very elaborate process. You need herbalist, rock crystal, cedar grove, rock smusher. Combine the smushed rocks, herbs, and cedar, and then you finally feed it to the monastery. Where's the rocks? The rocks are here. What's the ratio of rock smusher to rock? 2 to 1. So we do need a little splitting station. And then these each need their own herbalist. probably going to want a second one of those. Let's assume that this also wants to be eggs at some stage. So put them there instead. You need to be slightly higher up or you can't actually reach what I want. Fine. That actually gives you too much. I remember these producing 4. Have they changed this? Maybe they've changed this. Or maybe it was a different building that only used them at 1:1. Anyway, that's now smushed crystal. What's the smushed crystal to cedar ratio? 1 of these will power 2 of these. And memory is you need 3? No, you need 2. So actually we only need 1 of these. You can turn off. You can turn off. And we don't actually need the redistribution center then. Not yet. We can just be inefficient in over-providing to you. We do need a yeeting station for you. Okay, and then we need the rest of the process up here, the cedar components, because cedar grows better on high ground. Twice as efficient on high ground as medium, and then twice as efficient again on medium as low. We want 2 of these, which means we want 2 of these. We want 1 monastery thing. Kind of like there, and then maybe there. You don't have enough monks yet. Yeah, this is true. There's nothing else here that matters, so these can all be right up against the walls, but we're kind of leaving this for doing maybe efficient yaks. I guess that plan is now abandoned somewhat. You... Actually, it should be the other way around. These two should be the other way around. In retrospect, that is obvious. So that this is next to these. Yes. Actually, you can fit there even, which is kind of nice. Then we want a... Do we want to split up? Yeah, it's probably worth it. So... Yeet the finish rock to here. We make you squeeze in elsewhere. There. Now they touch each other. So that to there, that to there, that to there, that to here, here to both of you. And then each one of those to one of these. And then both of these to that. Turn that on. Hideous negative because of building upkeep because we don't have the monks. To run all these new monk-based industries. It helps. You need to be a bit closer to the inside, please. Not enough eggs. How's Yaktopia? Yaktopia fares well. They did a good job of tutorializing to onboard new people, not that we needed it. But it's totally understandable why it is that way. Not going to complain. It's a good thing that they tutorialize for new people. We need even more cheese now, or else to diversify these foods a bit more so that they stop demanding so much cheese. So it's time to connect down here and go fishing, and then you eat the fish across to here. Do you also eat fish? You will eat fish. Come down to the low ground. Which also means we now have a yak deficit. One more bad yak station. We need a slight amount of extra artisans, and we're going to need even more for yeeting the fish. Which means you now want more honey. You are in range of that, you aren't in range of these. So you'd actually prefer to be here and here. And here and here. There, that gives us a nice extra little artisan workforce to work with. And once the monk thing levels up, we should have access to the fish technology. Going to level 2 hasn't made anyone unhappy. And going to level 3 also doesn't seem to have made anyone unhappy. Going to level 4 hasn't made anyone unhappy. Excellent. How did it go? Have you learnt anything new? Tons of things. Like, we need to start burning incense. Weren't we here to sell the rock crystal? Absolutely not. We also need it for burning incense, or we'll anger the spirits. Just do what he says. I am too young to die. So, learn how to make shrines, but... well, we do technically have an excess of this, so... what that actually says is... instead of sending this straight to the monastery... send it to this, and now we have a surplus, technically. Is 2 enough to actually run something? I don't know. I forget how much it consumes, or if it scales with population that it services. There, looks pretty good. The trouble is that you can't actually quite... oh, and this is cedar that we have in excess of, not incense. True. So incense is a bit more reasonable. Herb, cedar, incense maker, done. What's the ratio? One of you does 2 of this. Sure. 2 of these. We need another little splitty-uppy station. Because one of you does two-seater things. Or two incense makers. Then you just so happen to be just in range of that. Couple more houses in range of you and you're happy. Trying to leave space so that we can add walls later. There we go. I don't like these clouds. They aren't clouds, they're sacred fumes from the shrines. No, I mean the ones in the sky. It looks like weather is about to break. It's a cataclysm. Tragedy, flood, tsunami. We're all gonna die. Relax, it's just some rain. It will pass. I don't know. The people seem terrified too. Then we'll strengthen their spirits and calm them down. More incense. Provide 500 people with incense. We need to set up that fish though now, so they stop eating so much other stuff. Fish, 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 fish. That might be enough. Yeeting station. Now, some is to you. And some is to you. Has that fixed our cheese deficit? Yes, by 3. So what aren't you happy about? Well, enclosing you in walls would give us the rest that we want for there. And we do have the wall tech now. So let a little bit of time pass. Then let's start enclosing this in walls. I think we're going to move this up a square, so... Yeah, I know it's destroying our economy chain. There. You... What are you trying to do? You can't reach this anymore. Well, then we swap you and this. There. Now everything works again. And we can extend our wall. And the industries exist outside of the walls. I don't think there's an actual reason to have that bit of road. No, there is, because that was providing the incense. Fine. Done. Monks happy that they're enclosed with walls. You cannot reach this now, so we push you 1 square to the left, and then everything works again. We have enough monks, and we are using the exact number of artisans that we produce. Now, it wants us to have more shrine people, which means that this should really have a eating station rather than eating all of our 24 of that. But more eating station means we need more artisans. More artisans means we need to set up their food here. We need slightly more artisans to actually run the eating of their own food to themselves. Now that should work. Done! Second kind of food, reducing their honey dependency by half. So 2 of these could turn off. Let's just do 1. These would need 2 more of this, 2 more goods type things to make them happy. Baths, ale, yak racing. Are we tech enough that we can do yak racing? We can. The yak racing goes really quite nicely there. And there. Sure. That means yak deficit. But we now have tech 2, right? So we can do the efficient yaks. These guys. It's not like there's any rocks that we care about there, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ugh, 1 more square? 1 more square. I almost eyeballed it, right? Pause. Money's burning while we do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beautiful. Then we can turn off the bad yaks. We still have massive yak surplus. In fact, that kind of means that we don't need that many of these, so... Get rid of 2 of the chain. 3 of the chain. No, just 2. You don't need that one, which means you don't need that one. You don't need this one, which means we don't need this one. Done. These guys should be moved if they can. And they can. That'll do for the moment. Now they're in tax range. We still need more artisans. The artisans are happy about their new yak racing. They would like beer and one other thing. Beer chain requires more artisans, so no. We need to buff this out before we do that. Slightly not enough bread. How much excess fish do we have, if any? A lot. Can we bridge across here and then give you fish? It's a long way to send fish. Yeah, that uses up 16 artisans. But it does decrease our dependence on all these other things. Enough that we could turn off one extra honey. Technically, those are in range of the food. So is that. Might be an idea to put these ones one left. No, I wouldn't actually change anything. That's fine. So either incense... No. So many of these just want beer. So we should give them beer. Beer means more grain. Kind of like to be one square over, which can be arranged. And then what's the ratio on farms to beer? 3. We need to let time pass and actually accrue some money. We also need charcoal. We only need half a charcoal. So we need one of you to feed a charcoal burner, which gives enough to run a brewery. You. We now have beer. Beer means we need an ale house. Which is an inn. I remember liking inn here. So I guess this is moving. Possibly to the other end of here. Looks like that one. No, slightly more. That one. Even more. That one. Yeah, that works. Does mean the houses are offset, but c'est la vie. You are no longer in range of food. Shove you down there. And then this can be the inn. No, because the inn is 3 squares, not 2. I had forgotten. Well, I guess these are all moving over 1 square. Except apparently you. There we go. That inn gets most people. Not all. Could we offset the food instead? Like, we could do the food there. And the inn a bit more in the middle. Okay, what's not working about that? That this is out of range of you now. That's fixable. There. Send the beer up. And boom! Bunch of higher level artisans. You stop existing. Same with you. Now we need more of everything. Well, the honey is easy. Hail Apana. More fish is, I think, barely doable. We're allowed 1 more fish. No. Not unless I move the bridge. So... bridge move. Extra fish. But that means this has to move. I can't be happy. There? There works. Now we have fish surplus again. You need slightly more grain. I don't really want to give you more grain. Can we give you another food type as our solution? Only if we gave you more cheese, and I think we're already using all of the cheese. We could make some cheese for you. Yes, making some cheese seems more reasonable. So, locally made cheese for you. The medium has the advantage of being 1-to-1. 1 milk to 1 milk to cheese. We should let money accrue while we're doing this. Cheese to the local remover, and then that to there. And then that reduces our dependency on every single food type, so we need less of all of them. In fact, we now really overproduce our honey. That's about right. Slight cheese overproduction, but going down would go down to 6, which isn't enough. Wait, why are you getting... 6 and 6 is 12. Yeah, 12 of 9 is fine. Upgrade these. Now we don't have enough honey. We give you 1 more honey. And then that's about perfect. We could have maybe 1 more house. And that's basically exactly right. Transport route invalid. This honey cannot reach you. Sure. Move that honey down there if we ever need it again. We've got lots of turned off buildings, I understand. And now we want the incense to move via Yeeta, not via you. Which says... Yeet station, feed this, feed this, this feeds you. And then who else would like incense? Do you like incense? Yes. There looks like a really nice square. And it says, I have no incense. And we solve that by... Boom. We need 5 more people in range of this incense. Can be done. You move to there. It's worked! The rain's starting to clear. Of course, our fortitude enabled us to persevere. I told you it was nothing to worry about. Speak for yourself. I'm going to be drying my clothes for the next week. We can finally get back to taking care of supplying the other city with rock crystal. We'll sell it here and then buy it back on the other mountain. Did someone say sell? Just send it to another trading post and I'll take care of the rest. Please sell 10 rock crystal. Well, there's rock crystal, rock crystal, rock crystal. And the game has taught us that overselling is good, because it means you'll be able to use it in the next locations. So we'll actually do slightly more than that all at once if we can. Yoink. That means we do start to need you. So instead of you sending to here, you now send to here. We weren't sending the crushed crystal, we were only selling... Sorry, say anything. We were selling the raw crystals, not crushed crystals. Let's do all of them. Oh, as if I can't bridge there. I can't tell where that allows you to go up, so we'll just go down. It's not like I don't have spare artisans here. So So, crystal, crystal. All of that moves to you. Gives us Theory 8. Six and 8. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we don't really get much more, unless there's... There is more here that we could do. So... We need more yaks, but we have already set up that. We just need to turn them on again. So, you. Slight workforce deficiency. Dealt with. These need a yeeting station. These yeet to here. And then finally we sell all of this. Oh, we need a separate one for buying. Okay. There we go. To you. We're selling 26. I think we're good. And that will make wherever we want in the future easier, because we can potentially just import massive amounts of crystal. We've got what we came here for. Now we can return. I'll make sure the caravans with the rock crystal find their target. I'll assign this task to my favorite grandson. You have grandkids? 16 of them! How many do you have? I fulfill myself through my professional life. Okay. Mission 6, Splintered Soul. It's good to be back. It's starting to feel like home, isn't it? Absolutely not. But with the rock crystal secured, we can focus on our biggest project yet. Raising a summit temple. It sounds exciting and also difficult. How do we even start? Let me think. No, let's build a monastery to help me think. Producing painted cedar for the monastery will require buying rock crystal. It should be manageable. So now we're back here, where we have a slight yak deficit. We could fix. Damn it, I thought that was going to let me fit one more. Do we have a place to put you on the high ground then? Not without getting rid of our snow protect there. This area doesn't need snow protect, so we can just duplicate this little setup. Except that I wanted copy, not move. I'm an idiot. What? What? This to you. Ah, I'm crazy. This to you. You to that. There we go. Yak deficit fixed. Whew. Next. On a monastery, you say? We're gonna need more monks to run the things that were needed to make the painted cedar for the monastery. So this is insufficient to our population needs. One more thing would let them level up again. So sacrificing one person to become a gong sounds kind of relatively sensible. You not having a road is a bit silly. What if we pushed you one square further out? Alright, and then where were we going to put this gong? It's going to be... there, from the looks of it. Or even there. You don't technically touch food. We can fix that with a little bit more fancy road. This has created a new deficit of eggs and honey. Honey we can fix pretty easily. Eggs were produced locally. I think it's time to produce those elsewhere and yeet them up. Yeah, I understand. You can't get to the market, but you can get to this, and then this can get to the market. Good. And then for cheese... you... So you provide that one, you provide that one. They both provide their cheese. And the cheese goes to you guys, and ta-da. You would be happy with some decorations or a gong. It's easier to give you some decorations behind you. But I also could expand our walls a bit here and then fit some more people, because we were having not enough people issues. Doesn't fit that many extra people, if we're honest. Oh, 5 extra houses isn't nothing. What aren't you happy with relative to your friend? You're not in range of this. Yes, you are. You aren't in range of the mandala. Sure, let's use a little bit of fancy road. There we go. Now you want a gong. Or a praying place. The praying place is pretty easy. That just works there. That means slightly more eggs. That's easy. Alright. We've gone from having nowhere near enough monks to run the new thing to having a lovely monk surplus that should be suitable for this task. So, painted cedar and a monastery. We will need to trade for our rock salt on this map. Yes. Well, not rock salt. Rock crystal. Guess it doesn't really matter where we do it. Leave that for more hay. You import crystal. 4 to start with. No, we only need 2. Which does have one advantage, in that I don't need to then split it up. Well, I'd still need a split up thing either way. Yeah, I still need a split up thing either way. You feed this. This feeds a split up thing. We need 2 cedar groves. We need 2 cedar painters. We need 2 herbalists. Everything just wants me to put that road one further over. Could now put those there. So you feed this one, you feed that one. You feed this and this. You need your 1 herbalist. Done. And now these need to feed a monastery. Supposedly. We need slightly more yaks, which means another one of this. Rearrange our roads. Actually, these would make more sense here, and then these would make more sense down here. There. Yak deficit dealt with. We have a monk deficit. Giving you a road here would fix your lack of access to that shrine. You are not fixable. Now, I can't see squeezing another house in here. Yeah, no, I can't see squeezing another house in here. We could just have some monks that are outside the regular zone. We could stop segregation. What's next? We don't know just yet, but look, we've found a way of making butter tea. The monks will get it and unlock their creativity. That's because we're not unpaused, the monastery kicks in, our tech level goes up. Hopefully no one gets grumpy about tech level increasing how much they demand. A little bit here. You've already grabbed it? They're adding yak butter. Sleep time for Amel? Night Amel. Do we really not have enough of this? We really don't. So we need another one of you. You could power... I'm sorry? You're powering those two? Oh, it takes a 2-to-1 ratio at the moment to do anything. You will need to come here then. And then this one and this one can feed you. And we live in hope that with that one extra bit of road, that if we move you down 2 squares... There, that's the extra wool, or the extra blankets we need to keep these guys happy. That's fixed some of this. Now, a big issue is we aren't actually taxing those level 3 monks. But there is absolutely no space for a tax office. It has higher fat content. Do I build a tax office here? How far would a theoretical tax office reach? There's a tax office there, looks kind of attractive. I'd have to lose 2 houses for it. I don't really want to lose 2. I could live with losing 1 house. I can gain the littlest bit of extra internal space like that. That lets me move you here, and then you could die and become a tax office. Or you could die and become a tax office. There. That solves a lot of our people not paying tax problem. But we still have a monk deficit. And good lord, look at their basic demands now. Level 4 tech. We have ludicrous base demands. Or else we demand subsidies. Does the butter tea process require monks to run? Lowlander, lowlander, a little bit of monk, artisan. So we do really need some more monks. So we will need to use this space. Now in good news, that means you can now touch this side. It also means we could fit a praying space quite happily there to help these guys out. Okay, we have just barely dealt with the deficit. You would like a decoration, fish or butter tea, or a gong. I'm willing to give you a crappy decoration. That in fact means we have enough monks to run both erasing you and the 1 extra herbalist we need to make butter tea. But that would mean we need to squeeze an Amazon distribution center in here. Which is... so I'm not going to be able to do that. Well, I guess we're going to hope that you aren't necessary for the shield wall. And gain a bit more space. Now we can fit an Amazon distribution center in there. That's just a case of making the butter tea. So, herb plus milk, well, butter, plus rock salt. Rock salt is over here. Not so much a bridge too far as a bridge precisely the right place. What is the ratio on rock salt to butter tea thingamajigs? 4 is to 1. Alright. If we built a baby eating station on this side, would it get to the other? No. Needs to be a full eating station. I'm going to assume we need at least 2 of them. Okay. What's going wrong now? You should be producing salt. You're doing salt. The salt should be coming to use too. There. Now it's just butter and herb. Herb. The herb needs to be split. Perfect. And now butter. Yes, herb. The herbalist. It's almost 4:20 in your time zone. It's 1 in mine, nearly. Nearly 1. So we need more butter. Would I rather eat the butter or the... No, the butter is the high quantity thing. 9 and 9 is 18. Really, the butter should be done on low ground. We could do it there and then yeet it up that little distance. That's better than coming all the way from over here, which was the previous where it would be located. And now how much do we need? We needed 9 and 9. 18. So 2. Oh, we need to let money accrue. Fair enough. 2. We need some roads. I think we're far enough to the left that we're safe from that. Yak Shack. Yak Shack. I don't really love that position. I like that more. Then a redistributor. Because you produce too much milk. Then I need 3 of those, not 2. Then you all need to feed into a yeeter. We're actually down a slight amount of yaks, so we need 1 more of these. There's nothing saying this has to be right here. Sure, exist there. This feels like so much wasted space there. No, we'll put you there. And build another road. There. In fact, like that, we might be able to move you over 1. Yeah, I know it doesn't work at the moment. We're about to fix that game. Good. We need another one of this. We need another one of this. We need another one of this. Done. Yak deficit dealt with. $18. $18. Done. Butter tea exists, but we need way more artisans for all this yeeting. Why aren't you happy? Because you don't have gong access? You have gong access because you don't have bath access. Yes. Well then, we shell out for some slightly nicer roads between here and there. Which gets you your bath access. Now they're slightly hungry. I'm not giving... Well, we could give these guys butter tea as a food diversity thing. We definitely can at least give you the honey. So now you're only ever so slightly short of food. That is enough to run one more yeet. We need to let time pass for a bit. We could also sell more. Because this was the location that we were selling from, right? Yeah. So if we made a bit more cheese, presumably we could sell more. It's amazing how much cheese we are consuming. 42 and we've got 0 spare. Even if we are selling off 17 of it. Yeah, we should re-rationalize this to be more efficient. So, speed up until money is full. Time to see if our getting rid of those trees punishes us. No, the barrier does its job. In fact, it looks like a lot of this isn't necessary. I may be massively overestimating the strength of that. There, I'll go down to that. And that's probably enough saved up money that we can try and re-rationalize this. So, how do we want to do it? You and you don't actually need to be touching. These go super happily in a row there. They do, however, need their butter from this, or milk from this. We need a redistributor. All the milk should go to the redistributor. Good. You can provide these. This is more efficient. Yes, we could even run 4 extra now. Or actually more like 5 extra? Nah, 4 extra. Boom. All of these go into the cheese thing. And now we sell 35 instead of 17. The only issue is that this isn't in range anymore. These can all move along. Nothing's saying you have to be there. You do need to be that close. There, I think that will work. Aside from that, you can't touch this. There. Now everything touches. Beautiful. The artisans would like some more grain. And I need more artisans for running... Well, actually, no, we just got the butter tea up, didn't we? But we will want them for the Amazon distribution center and yeeting that butter tea. So... it's either make more bread... I think you might get to make your own local bread a little bit, friends. You're needing us to spend a lot of resources moving that bread. There. Now, unfortunately, this isn't low ground, right? Yeah. So the ratio is a much more unpleasant 6-to-1. There. And now we don't need to move anywhere near so much of that bread, or even any of it. Now we're only moving the bread locally, and we have a nice surplus. So we could even have more of you. That says make another eggs. And another honey. I said honey. Stop grabbing the... Thank you. Honey. Have I mixed up which one is which? Honey. Okay, massive amount of spare lowlanders now. And they're very nearly all in range of the tax office. You three... What aren't you getting that the others are? The praying place. That doesn't reach you. Sure, one of you can die and become a praying place for the other two. Done. Slightly more honey. Very inefficient honey, but it gets the job done. Whew, that let us give the grain to give you, so that we can grow you. That might be enough. So then it was Amazon Distribution Center for you. Probably there. But I'm exactly at our monk thing, so if I kill them... If I give them textiles and butter tea, they'll be okay. Are we making spare textiles? No. No, we are not. We would want some... high ground yak shack for that. So here? I think unfortunately here. Well, medium ground is okay. Medium ground is 1-to-1. And we do have some yak shack here. Well, apparently this textile is all already being used here. That's only 2/3 of this textile. We could have one more. There we go. Now we have a surplus, technically. Let's try. You become Amazon Distribution Center. Blankets. Butter tea. They still need one more thing. So, utensils or decoration. Well, decoration we can do for you there. And here. And there. That's most everyone, except you. Can that wall possibly be moved out one? No. We could build a decoration outside the city. Which doesn't look terrible, having some beautiful... That's not efficient, but I like it from a prettiness perspective. They would accept a fish. But really they want an enlightenment. They really want a gong, Yak Guardian, or the Summit Temple to be built. So let's go for the Summit Temple, maybe? You've got your tea. Do you have any idea what to do now? We'll need a lot of monks for this endeavor, he says, as we have one fewer than necessary. So we really want to get this one done, and it must be enlightenment, so it must be a gong? Or a praying place, which we can fix by you, instead of being this, can be another praying place. Done. Alright, you have to know how to build the Summit Temple by now. We do! Well, we don't, but we know what to do, so we do. We'll build another monastery and find the answers then. Have 2 monasteries. I need 40 extra monks to run that, or we can just complete the mission and then turn it off after. Ah, that won't work. Well, I can turn you off. No. Wait, that should work. Oh, no, it's another one of these, not one of the academies. My bad. I was confusing academy and monastery. Sure thing. So we need another one of you. Another one of you means that our painted cedar is now not in super excess. Because these produce 4 per. So 4, 8. 8 out of 6. We're going to need 12, not 8. So I need 2 more of these, which is going to need a lot of monk workforce to run. And I have 0 spare monk workforce. In fact, we are negative on monk workforce as it stands. Most of them want another enlightenment. They will not accept anything other than enlightenment. That gives me a little bit more monk. Not negative, joy. Yeah, it does hurt that they're not in range of scholarship. It might be worth losing you to close this loop and get those two up instead. You're not getting enough stuff. What if we try and rearrange those? Okay. Whew. Yeah, move you up here. Copy the gong. Better roads? We could think about better roads. I'm looking at gong. No, the gong wants to be there so that it touches both of those. That gets us a bunch more. 40 more. By having the gong touch the top and bottom of that road. You are still unhappy. You want gong or praying place, or both. Praying place is doable. Alright. That might just be enough to run what we need here. So we need... unpleasantly much is the answer. Across here... need another one of you. Another one of you. Another one of you. You need to be in range of this, so we'll trade those two around. This one isn't being used yet, which is fine. You go there. Oh, I'm crazy. It's crushed crystal. So now we need a crushed crystal. That's fine. You go up one. And here. We can have a redistributor. You now go, instead of straight to that, you go to this. This goes to you and you. Much better. You go to that. You go to that. You need your herbalist, which can just be in range there. You're now producing crushed crystal. We now have enough crushed crystal to run one more of you. You're kind of in the way, friend. Can you move over there? And then you're kind of in the way, friend. Could we trade you and this? Yes. We need one more of this. But it needs to be in range of this. So here. And now you. And finally, all three of these now need to go to a redistributor. You go to here. You go to here. You go to there. You go to there. And we can have a second one of these. Done. We barely did the profit because of the massive amount of missing monks. Let's go turn back on one of the crappy yak things. Because we need it. We solve the missing yak component. We can get an extra artisan, no problem. Good. Technically functional. That's it. We've come up with a way to raise the temple at the summit. Ahem. Ahem. It's you again? Sorry to interrupt. You're no doubt important chit-chat, but I have a request. In the capital, a yak haircut of the season was selected. It is mandatory that you post information about this in every city garden. We don't have any gardens. That's barbaric! Fix it immediately, or I'll have you dragged to the capital in shackles for your lack of refinement. Have people in range of decorations, but we've already done that. I can't believe it. City gardens, with everything we have to deal with here. Cheer up, it was a good idea. Our citizens love them. If that was the case, they'd be willing to walk further to visit them. We can easily mitigate that by upgrading our roads. Apparently, CK Hawk is in-game. Better roads make it easier to travel, so people will be inclined to go further, to the gardens or any other place. It effectively increases the range of any facility, but there's a catch. They require more expensive maintenance. We shouldn't upgrade every road, but for some it could well be worth it. Upgrade 10 road tiles. But I have. Look, these are already upgraded. Fine. This zone can have super roads around the core. Super roads to there. Yeah, that does get you in range of the mandala. But you aren't in range of the Amadon distribution center, and its deficit of... It now has a deficit of wool. So... we need to wait for some more money. We need to also increase our yak number by one more. You come down here, you turn on. One more wool, you power the wool goes there. The wool deficit for these guys is dealt with. That drastically reduces our monk deficit. It's that you aren't in range of the Amazon distribution center. Yeah. I don't think you're ever going to be, but let's just... Well, I got one more. You don't have... Mandala. And the mandala already has maximum road between you and it. So there's no fixing that. And other goods won't fix your unhappiness. For you... You don't have gong. Yeah, that might get further if we technically built that road to be nice road. And it does. This one doesn't have praying place. If I get rid of you... Could we have extra praying place? Yes. Okay. Maximum level on 4 more buildings, which deals with our monk deficit. Oh no, the avalanches have gotten stronger. Really? No, I didn't build the wall thing. Okay, that's on me. Technically, that did do something. We need a Mr. Plow. Mr. Plow needs road access. Fix these, and then we'll position these again, but give it a wall. We also need one more yak, but that's only because of the Mr. Plow. I guess we'll have it anyway. Be nice. Have a slight yak surplus. These guys... here could have some more people. As in deficit dealt with. Shall we go back to the Summit Temple project now? Where did you disappear to when the emissary showed up? I don't feel comfortable around representatives of the state administration. I believe in separation of the church and state. It wasn't a bad idea if you ask me. We did things way better than them. Let's focus on building the temple. We need to transport resources up to the summit. Let's start with the base station. We need to find a suitable place for it, close to any of the peaks. This is when we find out that I've built on the only place that can actually have the base station. Yes! The base station goes on where my yaks currently are. I feel like they've buffed the Mr... Oh no, it's that the Mr. Plow is using the real roads. I was going to say, I feel like Mr. Plow's range has been buffed. Okay, Mr. Plow has done his job. He can go back into retirement. We reposition these. Actually, you probably go away, honestly. And then it was Snow Protect, this kind. Okay, hopefully that does. We should close the wall again. No, come on. I wanted to copy the wall. Thank you. And in fact, if we really wanted, that could also be another one of these kind of things. But everything's level 4, so who cares? We need to move these. That seems like it works. I see no reason that we couldn't slide that road down. Would mean rearranging these slightly. So you temporary here. Go where that one was. That one goes where you were. Everything works. Blow up this road. Summit Base Camp. Got it! What's next? Now we need to build lift towers all the way to the top. We can set them on rocky pillars. This is getting crazier and crazier. You're confusing madness with a divine calling. I'm not sure that those are separate things. So... boom. Lighthouse. Effectively, lighthouse. Lighthouse. So it's a cable car tower. Cable car tower. Boom! Summit Temple. I can't believe it worked! I knew it would. What's next? That's easy. We just have to send up huge amounts of resources. Okay, stop. In that case, we need to extend our worker base. Someone will need to produce the resources, but we already have a high level of high-level housing. Let's start raising the temple. Wait a second, I took a look at your blueprints. The lift base station is only meant to transport one resource type. We could make more of them, or pay workers compensation for the additional workload. No matter, it's time to build the temple summit. Really? Have they changed it so that you need to make additional ones of these now? No, you can't make multiple of these, so that's a lie. We need 12 wood, 4 spare painted cedar. We have precisely 0. So it says make another one of these. I would be more inclined to let our tech level down. I don't know if these will disable if we do that. It needs also wood and incense. I think we have spare incense. No, that was the other map. The other map we had spare incense. Alright, that means we need yet more monks. Monks are needed for the incense and the painted cedar. Wood is normal workforce. We've got the normal workforce covered. We do need slightly more artisans. How exactly do you design a lift in such a way that it can only transport one type of resource? Solids or liquids or gases? There's one answer. I could design a fuel tank on a cable car that obviously wouldn't accept solids conveniently. If it can transport liquids, it can transport solids. Tell that to a pipe. So we need another monk zone then. Unfortunately, because of our high tech level, they're going to be ludicrously demanding. Where would be the most sensible place to put them? Probably here. Wait for money to fill up, and then we start dealing with the monks. What do the monks want? They want cheese, honey, eggs, and fish. We can give them fish here. We can add some excess honey production here. Already got excess cheese there. Here makes a lot of sense then. They will like to be enclosed by walls. They'd like to be super high as well, but we're not going to be able to give them the stupid highest heights. The walls are worth 2. Let's set up the fishing first. 3 is probably plenty. Yeah, 3 is extremely plenty. In fact, 3 would let us give these guys fish as well. Well, 4 or 5 would let us give them fish. That actually means that we need more artisans, though. Because we're going to be eating around a lot more resources. Um... I think I'm going to change this road structure. I think I'm going to change this road structure. There. Okay, more bread, more bread. We changed this road slightly, we could also maybe fit in that last one. Done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. More bread for you. So much bread that it boggles the mind. Monks don't actually want bread. We could give them an inn. Ah, there's no inns on this level. Fair enough. Or at least, if there is an inn, only the peasants want it? Yeah, peasants want in this level, not advanced people. Fair enough. They would like butter lamps or a yak guardian. Butter lamps seems more reasonable. Also now not making enough copper utensils. There's more copper there. Yeah, here seems fine. It's not like there's snow above it. Blow all these up. So... I don't think we're going to run out of you. Up to the copper. We want a redistributor. We want 2 of these. We want more yaks. So these can power another yak thing or 2. Probably 4? That's an awkward amount. They produce 3. Then it should use a redistributing center rather than anything else. Not quite going to go as far as we would like. I suppose I could build a road like that. Seems highly wasteful of space. But I have peasants and I don't have artisans. We could build multiple of these and chain them. That's the other option. Actually, I kind of want to do it over here rather than here anyway, because I need the yak. The final step. Something like that. You eat. So, these all give their second hay to you. That hay goes to you, and then it goes to this. This, and from there it goes to the final breeding huts. You don't actually have a road connection. This is true. There. Yak surplus for a goodly long time. Super textiles? Decorations? No, they really want gong. Yeah. Move you here. Or here. Then we want one gong. Actually, the gong there would be better. Okay. Now we have the monk shortage to deal with, and I really have to do it. No, they demand just so much basic stuff now. No. Kill them. Go back to slight positive. What if I turn this off? It's not like anything I am doing at the moment cares about the higher level of tech. Then they won't be as demanding. While I set up the new monk zone. Yeah, they're much more reasonable. Speed up. Save up some money. Fish, fish, fish. Fish, 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 fish. It's beautiful amounts of surplus, right? No, barely any. Barely any. Well, we'll see how we go. Food. Roads. Connect you. You will need fish. You will need cheese. You will need bees. You will need eggs. And now we give you monks. Technically happy. Donation center. All them in. Done. Now they're happy with walls. They need education. This isn't doing anything useful up here, and it can be education providing over here. Sure. Kind of would prefer you maybe even centralized. Maybe we go for a double centralized thing like we did here. So blow up that and move these over a bit. A bit more. need one more bit of sizableness. No, please, get rid of the road as well. There. Technically, we could have another road there. We could extend this out one more. Not enough honey. Honey more do. Our once massive oversupply of peasants now looks a bit more humble. Amazing how little range you have. I'd honestly kind of like just shoving a second one over here. And I could maybe get away with not turning that one back on. And not turning this on would also solve part of my painted cedar issue. Right, now I have an excess of painted cedar that will deal with what I need for this. Yeah, killing you seems very, very reasonable. Let tech go back up, see if that causes issues. No, not as far as I can see. You wanted more kettles, and butter lamps. I don't really want to give you butter lamps. That's what you would need. So you are to these. These are to you. No, wrong way round. We need another one of these. Stop. Stop. This to you. You to those. You to a yeeting station. The yeeting station to fix that lack of... Alright. Technically, these guys would like it as well. And that would level up that guy. I think all the others... pretty much perfect. Yeah, all the others are pretty perfect. No, because the utensils alone doesn't do it, so there's no point giving you the utensils. These guys would be happier with just praying places and a gong. And that one looks like the obvious one to do. And there. As for praying places... Except you. We could move these over one. Then that could be there instead. There. There, I'm lazy. Slightly more eggs. Okay, huge amount of surplus monks. We still need more artisans. The artisans want butter tea that I don't want to give them, butter lamps, and decorations. I don't want to give them fancy tapestries. The chain on fancy tapestries is ridiculous. So much goes into lamps. I should just do the lamps rather than making another zone of this. This has already got spare kettles, so that's part of the story. We would just need some butter and some charcoal. There's some coal. In fact, tons more coal than we're ever going to need. Well, we might need 2 of these, we'll see. That means we need a splitter upper. The charcoal. And even then we have a surplus. Then we need the kettles. And then we need some butter. We only have 3 there. I think we just make some more here. More cheese for the cheese gods. I don't know that we can export much more cheese. And that would require more normal workers, which we're kind of out of. We could make the normal workers more happy with a yak race. And a mandala. But that's about it. The yak racing would fit there pretty nicely, and it would do everyone. I'd need to move these eggs, I think, down here. Let some money reaccrue. I don't need the bad yaks anymore. We produced so many bonus yaks in the from this compact yak breeding. That's now surplus. Trouble is those don't do enough by themselves. And they need a little splitting station. At best. That looks good. You go there, you go there, you go there. You go there, you go there. Now we just need to provide them with the base butter, or the base milk to turn into butter. Done. Now these need to output to somewhere. And that needs to go to the Amazon distribution center. Then, pause, we just need to give them some decorations and they will level up. For pretty much everyone. So. You move to the outer edge so the topiary can be in range of more stuff. Modest deficit becomes massive tax excess. We need slightly more fish. I think we are at the fish limit. Maybe not. We might be able to move that road. Sure, some of the excess fish come here. Make up whatever... Yeah, we're only moving 3, which actually means we didn't need this. We still have fish surplus. This, and probably 1 more can turn off. Even 2 more can turn off, and we still have a surplus there. We do need more honey. You can't touch there. But these two could... No, you can't swap. That could go down. That could go down. And then that can go there, and then you can touch the honey. Really? Still a deficit? Oh, the issue is that you haven't been told to come here. It's only locally produced honey at the moment. Fine. You can have some of that to make up your little missing bits. Done. I think we fancify the road around the town square. Kind of hoping that would get the gongs and things down the other side. There we go. Now these touch both of these. Fancy road project, better building aura? Yeah. The fancy roads cost more maintenance, but they increase the distance that buildings aura. Well, buildings don't aura, they transmit along roads. They don't have like a circular AoE, or a square AoE, which is the other way of sort of city builders typically doing their thing. You want some decoration. And what we just cleared there, we could give you a flower pot. Or decorative spring. Have a decorative spring. It's the same as in Anno Rome. How are you finding your Anno Rome? Because this is, yeah, I've described this as Rome but Tibetan with yaks. There is a fair bit of similarity. It doesn't have a combat system, which could be to its detriment or benefit depending on how much you hate fighting the stupid pirates in Anno. Look at that new tax income. Level 4 artisans, absolutely. They are the patricians of the game. They give the tax money. These guys are slightly under what would be maximum. Not sure how much more you're going to get. That's a bit sad. I definitely got more than 35 hours out of this between the puzzle maps and the challenge maps. Like the scenario maps, and now the campaign. Now we need to do you. We have the spare artisans that we can move this away from the city centre and yeet it with artisans. Other builders are just more comfy and repeatable. I don't like you down there. Yeah, I know. I'm breaking my bees. I know. You're going to die entirely. Because you're being replaced by artisans. You are also dying entirely. You're coming over here. I mean, that might as well actually just be this. Fine. We need one more egg? Sure. Still more egg. Ah, we need more egg because the bees haven't reintroduced. It's too easy to make money, and the spreading of resources between islands and maps is more busy work than challenging or rewarding, yeah. Okay. Honey. Honey. Eating station. Done. Now the eggs are massively overproduced. We can blow up like 2 of you. Okay, 1 of you. They want yak, and then mandala and something else. I am not willing to give them that. So... I only need to lose 2 of these to do the yak thing. We'll see. Let's look at what the yak does. Okay. Now they say give me fish and something else. We did have excess fish, and we've got tons of artisans for yeeting the fish across the map. And this will be a crippling amount of artisan use. Let's watch our artisans. 117 goes to... 60 artisans to move those fish around. Yeah, that's an insane amount of artisans use on that. But they do get 2 happier from fish. And now Gong and Yak Guardian. That is more reasonable than Mandala's, because a Yak Guardian would go there fairly reasonably. And it has pretty chunky range. Fancy roadify up at least the central town square. Now what do we want? Gongs. The gong looks really nice there, but I guess we get rid of that house. Okay, and then we need like one here, or possibly about there. No, I was correct the first time. Now it's slightly more egg. Slightly more bee. I actually don't think we have more space for more bee. I can make more bee space by rearranging that road. And you just feed that directly. Now we have yak deficiency again, though. Moving those fish across the whole map takes a lot of yaks. That actually uses the hay perfectly, so that doesn't provide an outlet for that. There's some space here. You like the throat singing? I think it's good music. I like it. I think it's nice and thematic. 2 of these. 2 of these. And 2 of you. Done. Yak deficit dealt with. Now it's wood, incense, painted cedar. We already have the painted cedar. We just have to change how it gets around. So we blow you up. We make you this. You all feed into that now. One of you feeds this. The rest of you feeds that. Incense and wood. Ah. Hello, I didn't realize that that would be in the path of you. Can I move you? Not yet. We need to un-Mr. Plow you. We need to Mr. Plow fix you. Mr. Plow, come over here. Turn on. Fix it, and then we'll move that there, where it's out of the way of the snow. Speed up till that's done. Mr. Plow is quite slow. There. You go back to here and turn off. This is using a lot of carriers. Consider using a more advanced transportation method. We don't have the tunnels through the world yet. We can't do the more advanced transportation method as far as I know. Yeah, they haven't taught us about it yet. So, wood and incense. Wood can be done here fairly reasonably. Most of the labor force going to carry stinking fish around the world? Yes. But it lets us have a lot of extra slaves. Well, low-class workers. Don't I already have these? But I can't connect these to a road conveniently. So no, we just have to create another set of wood things. So... grab you. Bring you here. Give you a road. Give you a yeeting station. One, two, three, four. Turn you on. That's not as much as I thought it would be, but it's enough. In fact, we can have one less. I can't math. You to here. And now 24 incense. Does the... Also, I should investigate. Can we sell anything else just for making future life easier? No, only cheese. Okay, incense. We need 2 of these, which is 2 of those, and 1 of these. That's not actually that bad. 1 of you. 2 of you. 2 of this. Flip it horizontally. Build the extra road. That's those 2. We need the little splitting station to split that wood into 2. I have successfully made it. Now how do I get it out of there? Good question. I could split these 2, flip these 2 around, I think. Yeah. There. Now I can fit a yeeting station in there. Doesn't have to go very far. So even though we have a fairly significant artisan deficit, it's not a problem. I could give these guys a topiary at the back of their... I actually want to put it there. If I gave this slightly nicer road, which is weird to do for farms... then that topiary... slightest amount of more a nice road... deals with our lack of artisans. Right. Missing a previous... More cheese for the cheese god, they say. Alright. I need to make one more cheese here. You... But I'm exporting a lot more than 18. 18 was how much we needed before. Maybe this only... Okay, no, this is making 6 more. Yeah, okay. I would have been short by 1 before. We were consuming pretty much exactly on the borderline of what would have caused us to be issues. Ooh, and we actually have not enough fish. Could I get you one more fish? Not really. Yeah, how dare I make one less cheese than required? I mean, we could. We could put that there. That can almost reach around the corner, even. In fact, if we fancied up these roads... Yes. Your fish chains to there, chains to there, chains to there. That still consumes a stupidly huge amount of workers. 90 workers! And we win. Follower, raise a summit temple in the campaign. Hooray, we did it! What a magnificent achievement! It's quite pretty. Yes, but I can still see the mist. It didn't work. I think I know what happened. This temple isn't magnificent enough to be noticed by the spirits. It lacks gold elements. We need them to build something truly spectacular. Sounds far-fetched to me. Makes sense. Gold catches my eye. So it's decided. We go to another mountain where we will build a grand temple that cannot be ignored. Gold! Mission 7, Smothered Flame. But that makes a very sensible point to cut this. So, we completed what? 2 more missions? And we're up to 7? Or maybe 3. Yeah, it might have been 3. The tutorial's only like 2 and a bit. So, join us for that next time. For now, peace.